full transparency, I'm deathly afraid of heights. And when I say, like, even as a baby, when my dad would go to put me on his shoulders, I would freak out. I don't like, if my feet aren't on the ground, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm okay in an airplane because my feet are still on solid anything. But, like, look, you asked me to climb up a ladder. No, ain't happening. So watching this death-defying, oh my God, skyscraper climb, when Alex got to when he got to the dragons, where he had to, like, flop his feet over on the side of a dragon and catch onto the side and just wiggle his way on up. I was absolutely mortified, Caroline. Like, Netflix, by the way, I found the broadcast to be electrifying. I thought it was incredible. I was glued to every single second of it. I need more of this in my life. Random things like this, I couldn't stop watching it.
It was that moment for me when he was going up those kind of ring things, and he just wrapped his legs around the ring and, like, undid his arms, and he was putting chalk on his hands and, like, wiping his hands off. I'm like, what are you doing? You are so far off the ground. Get your hands back there. I audibly gasped and screamed when he did that. And look, the event itself I thought was great. I thought the production quality was great. Doing live events of a man climbing up a building, like, you don't teach that in school, right? I thought they did the best job that they possibly could have doing live television. I had a blast with it. I love that they had his wife up there so you could kind of get her whole account of everything. I mean, if my husband was climbing a building like that, I would not be nearly as calm, cool, and collected as she was. But I just loved that we had a moment outside of live sporting events that it felt like everyone was watching at the exact same time. We don't get the same amount of live programming maybe as we used to get, right? We all record things, we watch things on Netflix, we watch things on streaming services. That we used to have those live Shark Week events that everybody was tuned into. We used to all watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette live, and we were all having these conversations at the same time in real time. We would all wake up the next day and go to work and talk about it at the water cooler. Sports are really the only thing that we have now that everybody watches all collectively at the same time live. So it felt like a little bit of a blast from the past of these live events that we used to just all watch together. And I loved it. I want more of these events, whether it's climbing Taipei 101, whether it's Michael Phelps racing a shark in the pool, or whatever it might be. I'm here for these kind of live events outside of just live sporting events.
I'd never honestly thought about what you said in relation to this until you were saying it. But, frankly, I remember when Friends first became wildly popular. Like, Thursday night NBC TV was like, it was must-watch TV. And part of the reason was because Friday, that's what everybody talked about. So, like, pre-DVRs and watching on demand and making sure that you could watch whatever you want and streaming, binging, everything. You're right. Like, TV was very communal. If you go all the way back to the 80s, even before my time, shows like MASH and Cheers were such a cultural phenomenon because, that generation would get up and they would, the next day, that's what people talked about at the water cooler, right? Like, so you're right that this created that. And that's sometimes where, as much as we talk about Twitter X and some of the bad things that happened there, these moments of knowing we're all in this thing together watching him are incredible. There is a piece of me, because my immediate thought was the same as yours. Like, when I was a kid, the ABC Wide World of Sports would show, like, Evel Knievel doing these jumps, and you always watched it thinking, what if, right? But most of the time that was pre-taped and it was, edited and everything's put together. This was live. And I did find myself afterwards wondering, this was an easy climb for him compared to what he's done in the past. And I get that this was probably just, par for the course. But I thought about it when he was going up, and he was surprised that there were people in the building at one point. He said, "Oh, there's people taking my picture." Like, I looked at that and thought, what if he just gets shocked? Like, what if a bird comes out of nowhere and just, like, starts attacking his eye? Like, what if the what ifs, to me, the worrier, just started to make me think, what if this goes wrong? Like, as much as I am, I sat here and said, I want more of this. Where is the line? Like, I'm not one to come in and tell anybody what to watch, how to watch. Like, you do you, whatever makes you happy. Are we so gladiator as a society? And maybe the answer is yes, that we're just going to keep pushing the envelope until the envelope is pushed too far and the worst possible scenario happens. Because, like, that was real. As much as we didn't think anything would go wrong, like, at some point, dude could have died. And I know that we're all incredibly thankful it didn't happen. They were on a 10-second delay. I'm sure Netflix had a plan for it, but are we going to push the envelope with crazy things until eventually the Michael Phelps racing a shark actually happens and somebody doesn't win, and then we are truly in Roman gladiator society?
We are a Roman gladiator society. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
fair.
how many times did we watch the clip of Tua on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals? You know exactly what I'm talking about. When
Yeah,
Tua got
you're right.
hit so hard and his hands did the thing, and it was a just gruesome concussion moment that was circulated all over social media. The video of Tyreek Hill getting injured, the video of Nick Chubb getting injured, the video of Joe Theismann getting injured, the a video of the Louisville basketball player from several years ago at getting injured. Like, we all are so gluttonous for very gory things. There's a reason why traffic slows down whenever there's a really bad car accident, because everybody slows down to see it. We are that kind of gladiator society. But to your point, as somebody that works in media and is very passionate about the business of media, what is that line between shock value and taking care of your viewers and making sure that everybody is taken care of? Everybody in your,
Mhm.
whether it's the spectacle, everybody that's on your broadcast team, or everybody that's watching it. I have to think there were a lot of kids at home that were watching this spectacle, because that's truly what it was. Somebody who has mastered his craft to the point that all of us are just mere mortals that could never even conceptualize doing something even close to that. So of course you want to watch it, but where is the line? What is your obligation as a broadcast to make sure that everybody is taken care of, while also making sure that you have that shock value, that you have that thing, that something that everybody feels like they have to tune into? Because I do feel like that was kind of the element of that on Saturday night, was everybody felt like they had to tune in to watch something, to someone truly defy gravity. So I hope that we never get to that point. I do hope that we have more spectacles like this, but it is fascinating from a broadcast perspective, and maybe that's just me as a broadcast nerd. How do you manage that? What would Netflix have done if, God forbid, knock on wood, something went awry?
I'm sure they had a plan, of course, because what
Yeah,
what
they
thing
had to.
I didn't know coming into the broadcast. I thought they did a really nice job of picture in picture, still watching the climb, but also watching a nice little feature about his life as a dad. Nice little feature about how he trains. All of
Yeah.
these things. I think they had enough things built that were really, frankly, again, beautifully done. I thought Netflix did a spectacular job with this broadcast. I was
I
absolutely
thought so
locked
too.
into it.
Unpopular opinion, I learned though.
Well, look, I'll flat out say the quiet thing out loud. There's just a lot of people that feel like they have big opinions about Elle Duncan, and they want to come out and say what they like. Elle could do anything, and there's a group of people out there that are just ready to hate on Elle for whatever reason that they have, or whatever their motivation is, or whoever. Elle, fully transparent, Elle is one of my dear friends. I absolutely love her. She and her husband are close to me. I will always support Elle. I also thought, unbiased to me, I thought Elle was spectacular, and I did
I
not
did too.
realize it was. I didn't realize people hated it until I saw that. But I will also remind the entire, as you said, Elle Duncan just absolutely crushing this broadcast, and no one's surprised to anybody. I I will absolutely remind the world Twitter isn't real. Like, X isn't real. And SVP said to us at ESPN years ago, Scott said, remember, when you're arguing with somebody on Twitter, you're probably arguing with the 12-year-old in their mom's basement. We need to remember that all of these unverified accounts
True.
are just middle school fat kids that are getting picked on by everybody else, trying to take it out on somebody else. So people feel some kind of way about, like, if you have judged somebody before they've even opened their mouth, and I really don't give a damn what your opinion is about their work. That's what happened for many people. If you didn't like it, also, guess what? Like, that's totally
It's
okay.
fine.
I have long since said, like, there are, like, I don't like Kenny Chesney's music personally. Kenny's a really nice guy. I don't like Kenny Chesney's music. Like, it doesn't move me, but that doesn't mean that Kenny's not great. It just means that his music doesn't move me. So, like, guess what, world? Some of you can like a broadcast. Some of you can not like a broadcast, and it's not the end of the world at the end of the day.